In the very first video that I made on this channel, it was all about how I was receiving information from my Elven Earth Guide, because I was able to go up the ladder of my consciousness and meet my 3 guides that have been inspirations in my personal life and have helped me achieve certain things that I want to achieve. And I must say that when I truly think about it, and I have kind of known this subconsciously, that Elven Earth Guide is a version of my higher self. And that's something I think that a lot of people need to come to realization, is that when you actually get to the heart of creation and to the true oneness of reality, you start to realize that all these higher dimensional beings and ascended masters, fairies, angels, Pleiadians, all of these ascended masters and beings that are guiding humanity are versions of ourselves. They are our future potential. They are our highest potential. They represent that within our own souls. And I realize that with me talking about this today, it may help others realize that the higher beings and ascended masters that people believe they are talking to in their own mind are actually the voices inside of their own soul that are radiating outward. And as the world gets more closer to being more authentic and rising into the higher dimensions of reality, the perspectives are going to enlarge, and the truth will be easily known, and more people are going to probably be connecting more to their higher versions of themselves. So a lot of people start to identify with other beings other than humans because it's a aspect of their soul that they are connecting to, and that's what they call other kins, elven kins and other kins and all these other kins. But it's really a higher version of yourself. Everything in the entire universe comes from one source, and Tolkien wrote about that in the Silmarillion. The idea that it was just black and void of light, and it was just a dark space of nothingness. And Eru Iluvatar, the shining God source, started to think. And as he thought, and there's no personality here, but as Eru Iluvatar thought, he brought the Anors into his reality. And the Anors were the angels that were the servants or messengers for him. And then they started to be able to have the capability to sing. And as they sung, they started to create the reality around them and started to actually bring forth all the matter into existence. And so most of the matter in the universe was harmony, and then there was one part that was discord, and discord is always able to kind of mess up the harmony. No matter how much discord there is compared to harmony, there's always going to be a little bit of discord, and it will create that duality we see in the universe of good and evil. So if we go back to the very beginning idea, though, there was nothing in the universe except for Eru Iluvatar. That means that everybody that you see around you, all the souls, all the Pleiadian souls, all the angels, all the fairies, all of these beings are actually contained within that one source of creation. It becomes a little bit more difficult to live on Earth once you have this type of knowledge, because then you start to realize that you are not only yourself, but you're connected to this higher consciousness, and you're a fragment of it. So there's a reason why souls are not all walking around knowing that they are the source of creation, or a fragment of it that splintered off in order to express itself. There's a reason why. But now I believe that we're entering a time in 2017 and beyond in the future where humanity is starting to awaken to this fact. And perhaps it's because the dream of Eru Iluvatar, of the God Source, has now become so fragmented, so splintered from the Source, that it caused so much division within the world that we have all of these souls hating each other, and war and division and racism, and all of these things are happening. And it's simply because the souls have forgotten who they really were and who they are all connected to. So we're in a time, in this time of the human timeline, of the collective consciousness of humanity, in which it's time to awaken to the unity within. Now, I do not believe that if everybody on Earth actually awoken to their unity within one another and realized that they were all part of the same source, I do not believe that we would just blip out of existence. I don't believe it's like the Matrix in that sense, where we're a simulated type of universe, and if in the moment that you realize that you are God, or you're a fragment of God, you just disappear, or everything disappears, and you wake up and you realize that there's nothing around you and you are the only consciousness. I don't believe that that is the way it works. I believe that humanity is supposed to actually waken up to their unity consciousness, and that is actually going to foster in a whole new type of living experience. I guess you can say that the dream has started to change of Eru Iluvatar. The images in the mind and the thought of the creator seems to be pointing towards the theme of evolving the human species to move forward into a new future that is more globally unified and has more of a peaceful relations with one another, and is able to focus on new aspects of itself, such as in technology and expanding outward into the universe. I absolutely do believe that once people do awaken to the unity consciousness, and this is why we have all of these messages and synchronicities and signals coming from our versions of our higher selves, which are the Pleiadians and other dimensional beings, it's a reminder to awaken up to the unity within. And once that happens, that's going to facilitate a whole new start of the human species. So in essence, yes, the apocalypse is real, but apocalypse in its Greek meaning means the veil is lifted. So when the veil is lifted, humans will actually see what's on the other side. And what's on the other side is more of creation, more parts of their extended selves out there into the universe. And that, I believe, is what is going on. We are in the time of the apocalypse. It's not just maybe one day. It's not just a few days. It's a subtle, gradual movement into the next stage of existence, because energy is infinite. And since we come from the creative source of our God, of this entire universe, well, then there's no ending to this. It simply changes and transforms into something new and something else. And that is what's going on. So my higher self that I talked about in my first video, the Elven Guide, is a version of myself. That is my highest self expressed. That makes me an individual soul and unique. You need to now figure out what is your version of your higher self. And when everybody on Earth actually starts to realize what is the version of their highest soul, what is that highest potential that they have, that is when this world will start to change, because then everybody is acting as their higher self and their higher soul and actually applying that information into their daily lives. And that's when things really start to move forward into the futuristic type of cities and world that people have visions of in their mind. When they think about alien cities and alien civilizations that are highly advanced, this is where humans can go towards. But something is holding everybody back, and that is the dualistic nature of the universe. So it is those characters in this human timeline that are trying to play out that idea. I mean, in a way, I guess we do have agents in the Matrix in a sense. So it's up to every individual soul to decide, are you going to become a Neo and wake up from that Matrix and actually discover that your higher self has always been talking to and always trying to get you to remember who you really are and what you are really connected to. And once that actually happens and everybody does that, that's when we'll see a new version of this dream, a new version of this reality that we are walking through together right now. And that's really all that the starseed symbology is all about, is really just trying to bring in new perspectives into humanity, something new, a catalyst of a sort, to really open up the eyes of those that are still sleeping and have not awakened to their true selves yet. And I know that that is the role that I have chosen, and I know that many have chosen that role as well. So this channel is not about how, special or unique or different I am. This is about me inspiring others to actually go and find that version of their higher self that will bring them more happiness and inner peace that they are looking for. I had a very difficult life, and I've healed a lot. It has taken a long time to discover all of this information that I have discovered. But once I did, it's that light that goes on and it never goes off. And once you have this knowledge and this wisdom to understand that you are that higher soul that you're looking for, you just have to apply it into your life. You just have to act like it. You can't just think that it comes from an outside source of yourself. It actually comes from inside of your own soul. And once you realize that, you will have the power to change your life for good. You'll no longer be a victim of the temptations in the world that maybe you're a victim of right now, or a victim of others that are putting you down or are trapping you in your own life. You will take control of your own life and will take the reins and will start to co-create with our creative source, our collective consciousness, into what soul path you really choose to live. What is the journey that you want to make for yourself? I know mine, and it's taken a while to discover it, and now it's in the hands of every single human on earth. So I absolutely do not believe in any type of idea about there's only a select group of chosen ones. We all come from the same source. Eru Iluvatar, God, Allah, Yahweh, the Great Spirit, the Divine. There's so many words to describe this collective consciousness energy source that we all come from. And when everybody awakens to that and they look at their neighbor as if they know and understand, I see you. Namaste. I know that you too are a part of the collective consciousness. You are a part of the God source that has made this universe look real and appear real for a temporary time. I know you and I see you and I respect you. When everybody does that with their neighbor, this world is going to change. Mark my words, this world will change, because that is us playing out the actual future versions of our higher selves. And that's when we start to align with the Pleiadians and other higher dimensional beings that are living in these highly advanced civilizations. So that's my message for everybody. Try to find out who or what is the higher versions of yourself. Maybe it's not an elf like mine. Maybe it's an angel, maybe it's a guardian, maybe it's a Jedi, maybe it's a superhero. Whatever it is, keep that image in your mind of what you believe that you are connected to. Keep that image in your mind, and as you go through your daily life and you get dressed in the morning, you go to work and you pick up the kids and you go grocery shopping and do all these things, you also have this image of what your higher soul is. So while you're on earth and you're doing all these material things that are needed for your survival right now, you also are able to apply the information that is coming from your higher soul. And that's when you are in connection with the divine collective consciousness. When you are connected to the higher self, the highest version of your soul at this point in time, I can't say, this is your highest soul in the entire infinity of reality, but at this very point in time, this is your version of your highest soul. When you are in connection with that, you are then able to live the best possible version of your reality. And all things open up on your paths to lead you to the blessings and the joy and the blissful experiences that you are looking for. Once you connect to that higher soul, you are able to have the strength and the determination and the courage to always move forward and go for what you truly want to experience in this lifetime. I wish that for everybody. And I hope that all humans get in touch with the highest version of themselves. There's many ways that you can meet your higher souls. You can actually go online and look at some of the courses that are available. I'm going to get ready and I think I'm going to do a video about it because I've learned so much about how to actually meet your different guides. And I will leave a link in the description of one of the courses that I took that helped me realize who were the 3 that were guiding me at this time. So I hope this helps you, and I hope this kind of gives you more clarity into what I talk about when I talk about the Pleiadian starseed resonance. I use that word resonating because that's all about frequencies and vibrations. So everything is frequencies and vibrations. So when you vibrate at a certain level and you are living your life at a certain level of consciousness, you will align to certain aspects of the divine. So I live my life and are resonating at the level of consciousness where the Pleiadians are, and that's what that means. It doesn't necessarily mean that, I was made in a test tube and then dropped off on Earth as a Pleiadian baby. It just means that I am resonating, I am vibrating on that same level that they are when they are giving the messages to humanity. I understand them, they resonate with me, and that's what that word resonates means. It actually is a terminology used in sound. So it's all about sound waves. So think about the universe in that kind of way. And read the Silmarillion to understand the very beginning part of the idea of music that creates everything, and how Tolkien understood about the frequencies and the vibrations that create the reality that we see around us. Discover the frequency and vibration of the higher soul that you are trying to get in touch with, your higher self, your highest version of yourself, and start radiating and vibrating at that frequency level in your daily life, and you will see miracles open for you. I wish you all the best. Peace, love, joy, unity, and wisdom to you all.